What's going on, everybody? Today is December 5th, 2024. We're back to discuss another episode of the Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras. This one was called Thinking Thin Era or something like that. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Here we
All
go.
right.
All right. My name, of course, is Mr. John Dunphy Chidea, standing Mariah's magnificent thighs. I'm joined, as always. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Kyle Petty Basal and Miss Gina Morgino. My ride or dies. How you guys doing? Having a good day?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no
Great
complaints,
day.
no complaints.
Great day.
It's good to
Really
hear.
great
It's good to
day.
hear.
I do think with the fact that you don't justify, my hyphenization anymore. It just is what it is. It needs no introduction or explanation. We just love it in our household.
Yeah, King Ferris. King Ferris. We love
Yeah,
King Ferris.
yeah.
My first note for this episode was, holy shit, this season started on fucking August 14th. That was the first note that I took.
And you're
'Cause this-
so real for that.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, this show has been on forever. Like the other show we're
Forever.
talking about,
Ever.
right? We're talking about
Don't you
Survivor.
also, now that you've mentioned that, don't you also kind of feel like a clown for being like, woo, we lost 8 people. What a great foreshadowing for this season.
No, you're right.
It started a
absolutely
month
right.
before Survivor and it's probably going to end like a month after it. Like, what the hell?
I know.
No,
I
it's got to
looked.
be wrapping up soon. It has to be.
It has to be. August 14th was the premiere. The premiere for Survivor, like you were saying, Kyle, was September 18th. And we're already talking about we're already talking about the finale in Survivor. So
yeah, I feel like this has to be coming up like before Christmas. We're not going to have an episode Christmas Day, right? And then we're not going to have an episode New Year's Day, right? They wouldn't take a 2-week break.
A 2-year break.
Unless they are on New Year's, because it's only New Year's Day, it's not Eve.
well, we'll definitely see. The next on looked interesting. So but we'll see. Okay, so coming into this episode, we saw that Corey had just eliminated Josh. It's a beautiful thing. And he immediately named Michelle, Jenny, and Aviv as his targets. Michelle made sense, right? She made Corey a target, and then Jenny and Aviv are obviously Bananas angels. So we did have a fallen angel in this episode, in Aviv, who I was very sad to lose. But Corey made me laugh here a little bit because he came in and, like, obviously we know that him and Cara haven't really had anybody, so they've just kind of by default become each other's number ones. But then it was funny to me because, like, Corey in a confessional was like, yeah, I'm really hoping that maybe now I can be Tori's number 2. And I'm just like, what does it say about your game when you're like, I hope I'm that person's second option this late in the game? Like,
it's unfortunate and it's really, really sad, but it is what I have come to expect from Corey. And this is why I never draft him, because like socially, he's just like, I mean, he does put up physically, but if you're not playing the other half of the game, you're not playing it well, you still don't make it.
yeah.
Because your odds are against your favor if you're constantly going into elimination, It's just unfortunate. This is always how Corey's game goes.
Yeah. And there was a point where Jordan was like thanking him, like, yeah, you're really, ticking a lot of names off the list here. Really appreciate it. And Corey was like, well, he's like, you think maybe we could switch? Maybe I could win a challenge and you could go into the sand. And I'm like, Corey, you have to win. You have to win in order for that to happen.
Right. It's not like, Seneca Crane is back there, pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, what if you just like let me win one? It's like, girly, that's not the game.
Girly.
There was something funny in this episode too at the beginning with Bananas, because he, I guess, is starting to get annoyed that all of a sudden Cara Maria is playing a little bit more. Like, she was, other than the Laurel drama early on in the season, Like Cora has definitely been in the background of the season. And I guess now as the numbers have thinned and people are looking for, new allies and stuff, Cora's kind of gone up the list for some people. And it was just funny to me to see Bananas like talking to his angels, so annoyed about Cara Maria, and like all of a sudden she realizes there's alliances and this and that. And I'm like, well, Bananas, you set the tone very early on with Cara Maria. You and Laurel, like Cara was you guys' punching bag for like the first part of the season when you guys were on top, and
Sure
now
was.
you want to be upset that she's not part of your alliance, like.
Mhm.
So that really pissed me off, honestly. But all right, so this daily challenge. What's that?
I don't disagree. I just don't speak out about him. So.
No, I know.
I don't agree.
This daily challenge was interesting. This is called tight quarters. For this one, the players would descend into a massive network of tunnels in the forest, crawling through tight, dark spaces while encountering bats, rats, spiders, and fire ants.
Oh my!
After a long trek through the tunnel, they had to solve a slider puzzle, grab a bag of blocks, and race to a second tunnel, which was a few football fields long. Once they got out, they'd race over to the finish line where they'd have to complete another puzzle with their bag of blocks. Whoever finished it first, obviously safe from elimination. The losing female competitor would be going straight to elimination in the arena, and the losing male competitor would be receiving a penalty for the next daily challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like this? These challenges with the animals sometimes. I don't know. I know people on the
It's like, what is it all for? Like,
Yeah.
why? What does that really add to it except like being creepy? You know?
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I liked watching it. It was fun, but it was just another one of those that you can't really discern how much time has passed anywhere. So it just kind of takes you out of it because, like, there's no reason for me to watch. Just let me know how it
Yeah, I
turns
just
out.
like have to take your word for it.
Exactly. I saw the first run. I saw what it was. Okay. Great
Yeah.
time to go wash some dishes. If you still got dinner on the stove, give her a good finish. Tinkle, if you will. There's no reason to watch anything past that first run.
Well, so did you see Aviv?
I did. that I did see.
Okay.
She didn't give a damn about those barriers, did she?
Yeah, and to me, I thought like it's pretty clear not supposed to go that way, right? Did you guys feel that way? Or did you think, because I saw a lot of people on social media that were like, it was just two flimsy sticks, but I thought it looked a little bit more blocked off than that. I don't know.
It was two flimsy sticks, but I don't know. I think I would have still not gone that way. I mean,
And she
like
was the
if you
only
see
one.
a way that's clearly open and you see one that has sticks, like obviously, I mean, nature is nature. It's not like they carved out this little cave just for you, right? So like they obviously did something to make the course be a course. What more did you expect? You want a big painted sign that says nope? Like I feel like that was enough. I would not have gone down that way, but she didn't give two figs.
And she just kept going. Like, because she went down the wrong tunnel, came out of there, and then kept running. Like she was like far from that tunnel. And I'm
So
like,
far.
at any point were you going to say, all right, this probably isn't the
Maybe
right
I
way?
shouldn't have
Maybe
done
this
that.
isn't the one.
Right. Maybe this was wrong because I did just blow through an X.
Mm,
Like, so maybe this isn't right, especially knowing how quickly Tori moved through it.
yeah.
Like, this can't be right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think it would have mattered? Like, if she went back and went back in the way she came, then went out, do you think that, like, that would have now qualified her?
I mean, I don't
Oh.
know. I don't know.
Like, I wonder what that would have done to the rules there. Because then you would, if she would have caught on fast enough. I mean, again, we don't really know how she ran like the first half of it, but maybe there's a world in which she wouldn't have gotten last, which means you wouldn't have been DQ'd. But I mean, you're still a
Right.
target. So I mean, well, maybe you could have weaseled your way out of it because you wouldn't have been an auto in.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I think, see, here's what was weird for me was, right, it seemed, at least what we were shown, is that these people were going into the first tunnel and then coming out in a spot where, like, other people could still see them. Like, they were close enough, right? It didn't seem like they were coming out and everyone was like, oh, good job, good job. And I think if I'm a Vive and if I come out of that tunnel and there's nobody around, I would have turned around and gone right back in. And I wonder if, like, instead of running for like a mile or whatever after exiting the tunnel, if she had just gone right back in, she might have had enough time to like come somewhere in the middle of the pack, maybe.
Yeah,
Because
because
she is
a
fast.
mile is a long way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
But then
that's
running
like
for quite a
bananas
time.
amount of time to not
Yeah.
notice that something's
Although
wrong.
now that I'm thinking about it,
Right.
now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if any of it would have mattered, because at the end of it, TJ told us that because Aviv broke a barrier, she essentially was disqualified, and that's really why
Right,
she
that's
was
what I
like
was
in last
thinking, yeah.
place. So I don't know if
Yeah,
was it the second she broke through that barrier she was just done, because then none of
right.
this
That's
matters.
kind of where that's where the question was going. I was just wondering if, like, let's just say she got out there and she reversed her error. As my father would say, well, that's why they put erasers on pencils. She made a boo boo. But if she corrects it and she still doesn't come in last, do you still penalize her for going back and still finishing it? Like, I would also say that that's not really fair.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Because
think if
she
she
was
had gone
already
back and finished
penalized
it,
by taking the wrong way and spending time on nonsense.
I think if she had
I don't
gone
know.
back in and completed the course the correct way, she shouldn't have been given any sort of penalty at all. That's what I think. TJ made it seem like the second she broke that barrier, it was done, but it's not like her breaking through there gave her any kind of advantage to finish over anybody. Like, why not
Right.
just time
Yeah, it
her
made it
out?
worse.
Yeah, like, what's the point of the disqualification at all? Just time her out, because like she went through the
Mm,
wrong way, didn't get to do the slider, didn't get her puzzle pieces, didn't do the second tunnel. It's not like she got an advantage over anyone. What's the point of disqualifying her? Like,
that's fair too. That's fair too. It's not like she came out the wrong exit and now it's like, oh, that just gave you an edge that you weren't supposed to have. No, she
Yeah,
was a
she like
mile
somehow
away.
won. Yeah.
yeah,
Right. That's totally fair too. Yeah, there are a lot
um,
of different endings that could have been for our girl, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, she still broke the rules. She knew what the rules were when she went in. So, should you be really given any grace?
yeah.
Nah,
Um,
maybe not.
so yeah, a rough challenge for Aviv, a rough challenge really for Bananas and his Angels overall, because Rachel timed out, did not complete the puzzle. Um, Bananas got so frustrated by the puzzle that he threw it on the ground at the end. Were you surprised that he didn't flip any of those pieces over to see if they were double
So
sided?
specifically because not that long ago, we saw on this season, was it Ryan got eliminated because he was trying to put a puzzle together only on the back because he didn't realize that there were pictures on the other side. You've already
Mm,
seen it happen
mm,
on this season. You're not checking your puzzle if you can't get it right. If it
so
just
true.
happened a couple of days ago,
Hmm.
like that
Hmm.
blew my mind.
I didn't even think about that. That's so fair. That's so absolutely
Oh, that's
fair.
the only thing I was thinking about. I was like, how, when you just saw it happen to somebody else, it's the reason why he went home. Are you not thinking, let me check all sides of this puzzle?
Mm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. All I was thinking about in that moment was this is the first time that I think I truly enjoyed TJ laughing. It showed me that you can actually have some restraint. And it's like, if you just laughed like this all the time, I'd be quite endeared towards you.
Right,
Um,
because we weren't hearing him laugh. We were just seeing him being like, what an idiot,
yes.
like behind his
Yes.
back.
And it was very fun. It was very fun. I would say that was like, easily like top five TJ moment for me. Like that was really, really fun.
Yeah. Um, and just knowing that he's laughing because Bananas like, whoever's face this is, I hate it. I'm
I
gonna
hate
punch
you.
it. Yeah, I'm gonna punch your face. And TJ's like, it's my face.
It was so good. It was so good.
Um, but yeah, so Bananas comes in last place for the men. He'll get a penalty for the next daily challenge. Aviv loses because of the disqualification, but if that didn't happen, Rachel, she got saved here by Aviv's mistake, because she would have been going in because she timed out. But Tori and Kyland absolutely destroyed this. We know Tori. We've seen her on the show for years. Kyland, like I'm not like surprised, like I guess because we've seen him do it over and over again. But he just like he continues to impress. The guy is good.
Mhm.
He's gonna win. If he doesn't win this season, he's gonna win very soon.
Come on, Kyland. Come on, Kyland.
Yeah. And you know what's funny too is that there was a comment here that Bananas made, and I'm like, everybody's targeting me all the time because they don't want to run a final against me. Like, is anybody looking at what Kyland is doing every week? like,
Yeah.
like, so it's funny, and I feel like it's got to be a little bit of an ego hit probably to Johnny. He's like, wow, like my time really is going out the window here. Kyland is the new guy. You know, Jordan's still in his prime. Like, I feel like Bananas is looking around probably like, wow, my days might be numbered here. So
Yeah, there's got to be a version of him that's a little concerned. The only thing that I would say would give him a few more years of life is that, like, the way that he plays the game is still unique unto himself. So I don't think he's necessarily done with this. He's just
oh
going
yeah,
to have to pivot a little bit differently. We're not going to be able to just rest on the "I can beat you," laurels, if you will. Like you're gonna have to play more the way that he used to in the very, very beginning when we played like field day type games. You're gonna have to build your whole game on just like chaos and confusion and tomfoolery.
yeah, yeah.
But that's not such a departure from what we're doing now. We just have to lean
Oh
into it a
yeah,
shade
I
more.
know. I was like,
But
that's so different than the way he's
right, no, it's
currently
not. It's not
playing.
super different, but like he's going to have to start to accept that the threat in you is not what you're putting up in challenges, because you may not win as many. You know, you may not lose, but you may not win. So you've got to find your power elsewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done what he's needed to do to survive in the game. Like he's a good game player, but he hasn't won a lot of
Hmm.
daily challenges, right? I mean, he's always kind of been at the mercy of other people. He's been a target. He made his own target band at one point because he was just always a target. Like,
Right.
um,
Every time we saw him in power, it was because he just won an elimination.
yeah,
Like he's not really one to lose in a one-on-one situation, but like in a group, yeah, you got some problems because there's just younger, hungrier people there.
yeah. But I
Yeah,
think
he's
you're
got
right. I don't
problems.
think he's done by any means. I think he's got some left in the tank. Like we'll still see him
Hmm.
for a number of seasons. I think, but
Yeah, he's not done, but
just a
he's
little
different.
different. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
we said different at the exact same time. Um, Okay, so this now meant obviously Aviv is going directly in. She was one of the targets, so Kyland now has to decide between the other two targets to decide Aviv's opponent, and that's either Jenny or Michelle. Um, we knew it was going to happen already. We knew it was going to be Jenny, but it's just funny to me to think about how quickly kind of like this game can change when you think about where Kyland and Michelle were in season 39, where it was Kyland, Horacio, and Nerys
Yeah.
against, Michelle and Jay and their side of the house. And it's just funny now at this stage of the game to see Kyland be like, and he's right. He said in the chamber, he was like, if I was just playing it by emotion, like I'd be throwing Michelle in right now. But he wants to split up, Johnny's Angels. So we get Aviv and Jenny.
Yeah, I get it all. My only little issue there was like you can tell that Michelle still wasn't 100% sure that this was the way that it was going to go. And when she had that little interaction with Kylan, she goes, "You're safe, and I'm so excited. I'm
Yeah.
safe, and I'm so excited." And she's like, "I'm safe, and I'm so excited." And it's like, oh, you're so annoying because
Yeah.
even you don't deserve to be after
Yeah.
what you did the last go. Um, but I think I have mixed things here because I want to say to Kylan's credit, you understand this is not the same game, so
Right.
you can't play based on what happened the last time. And there's still something to be said for Michelle in this moment that she knows the people that she's playing the game with well enough to know that Kylan will work his way logically to that same conclusion, where
Yeah.
other people would be completely clouded by judgment and or emotion rather, and you're not ever going to be able to break through that. So there is some credit to her for knowing people well enough to kind of know how they might move. I just hate that I'm giving her any kind of shine, but there is something to that, and we can see in that moment she was a little insecure, and that's kind of why she did it, like just for some reassurance. But I'm not going to completely knock her for it because I think I might do the same. I'm just checking in and just making sure. I just want to make sure that I clocked you, Michelle.
Yeah.
You didn't get me, okay? This is not my first rodeo. But I'm becoming more impressed with her.
Not the gagging.
It pains me greatly that I am more impressed with her lately.
Oh man, it's funny. The only other note I had for the chamber, um, there was something that Tori had said. She was kind of bringing up bananas again, and being like, you know, you've got three women protecting one guy here. Like, what if bananas was in a position to have to protect one of you and like actually make a decision between you guys? Like, what would he do? And I felt like Aviv and Jenny knew right away what Tori was trying to do by making them like go at each other and like cause
Mhm.
some like division between them, and they wouldn't take the bait, which I loved. But the only reason I'm even bringing up this point now, because I felt like it wasn't really that important to the episode, but I think it is an example of what we were talking about just a little while ago with bananas, of like knowing that his game maybe has to be a little different, and like the fact that he has been able to get these three, and it's not just like three numbers, like these aren't just three random like people in the cast. Like we're talking about Rachel, Jenny, and Aviv, who are all badasses, and like any one of them could have won this game, have won the game in the past, and like they're all choosing to protect Johnny, and like it might be good for their games. It might have has worked to help them get further. But the fact that Bananas has been able to make himself so insulated when it seems like so much of the house has gone after him is really impressive, and like that's how he's going to continue to do well, even if he's not the best physical competitor moving forward.
Yes, and while it coming from a Big Brother environment, it's a little concerning that you're being so forward with like your alliance and the name of your alliance and everything. But with the format of this game, one of the things that we have not discussed is that Bananas made himself the only male on that in that alliance. So like these girls are never in any position to like make a decision. We
Yeah.
already know who we're keeping safe, and like he puts himself in a position of complete control, because even if he is handed this slate, like let's just say he had one and these were the targets that were selected, at least he's making the decision of who on his own team he wants to see go in and kind of make them a little bit more expendable.
Yeah.
Scary, but you're also in charge of whether or not I win this one.
Mm-hmm.
If I know those are the targets going in, I never have to put, huh. And maybe that also plays a little bit into why we don't win certain challenges,
Hmm.
because there has been
You think
that
he's
power
throwing?
back and forth. I don't know now. I'd have I really just I stumbled upon that one. So like that wasn't a fully formed thought until we got to this point. So I wonder. I'd be curious to see just the stats and just look at the names, like how often, because like power has kind of gone back and forth, like either it's this side or it's that side. And when the majority of the targets are some of like Bananas, Angels, Johnny's, and whatever they call themselves, does he lose that next one? Because I don't think we've seen where he's ever had to decide. So I wonder if you're looking down like a scorecard and saying, well, you didn't win this, you didn't win this, you didn't win this. Well, I'd be curious to see then who are the targets in the ones that he didn't win, because were we purposely just skirting around the drama of that? And if
Hmm.
that's the case, then you know what? That's how you need to continue to play, Johnny.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be able to rest on the physicality, not that he's anyone to sleep on.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
All
That's
right. In terms of the fluff in this episode, did you enjoy Michelle's birthday party?
No, I peed like with
I'm
everything.
gonna be so honest. I was watching this episode at my desk, and that was when I chose to get a lot of work done.
Yeah.
Look, I just want to make sure Michelle's having a good time. It's like, okay, well, there's other things to do. I'll turn the volume up as I walk around, just in case conversation goes someplace I should be paying attention to, but I don't need to look at it. I mean, I
Yeah.
hope she had a happy, everyone deserves it, but
I hope she had a happy.
Yeah. Oh my god. Um, I want to talk about Rachel a little bit, real quick.
Rachel. Okay.
Love Rachel.
Hmm.
Um,
But what?
so no, it's not even really a but for
Oh,
Rachel. It's
did it
because
sound like a
so
setup a little bit?
no. Well,
No, I
so
felt it. I felt it.
no, you're right. You're right. It did. I did do that. You're right. But after we found out, right, it was going to be for sure Aviv and Jenny. Um, Rachel and Bananas had a conversation where they kind of were talking about how, like, yeah, they know it sucks that Aviv and Jenny have to go against each other. They're going to lose a number of theirs. But what this does mean is that there's no way that Johnny's going to be a target. He's safe. And this also meant that Rachel can now go and like talk to people like Jordan and help build relationships there and strengthen that. And Johnny was very much like, oh yeah, you know, you got to do what's best for your game, and hopefully I'm a part of that, blah, blah, blah. And I was just thinking to myself, like, this is so different than Johnny and other people will talk to people that are trying to work with other people. Like, can you imagine if Josh told Tori or something that he wanted to go work with Bananas, or that he wanted to go work with this person that was against her? And I just don't understand like the different standards for different people. And maybe it's just that Rachel's just better at doing this, but it's just funny to me that she can sit there and have a conversation with Bananas like, yeah, those people that have been trying to take you out, Jordan and Tori, I want a better relationship with Jordan. And he's just like, yeah, do what's best for your game.
Yeah, I think because he knows that Rachel is not the one.
Yeah.
You are not going to tell this woman who she can and cannot play with. You just need to just try to continue to show her your value, because the second you push her into a corner, or she feels like you're trying to control her or manipulate her decisions or her game in any way, she's not going to be about it. She's not just going to like just be annoyed and like complain to somebody in the corner. She's going to walk away. And as you can see, your angels are depleting.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the one. I love to see it.
Yeah.
I love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And this really leads into like just my continued admiration for Rachel, because
Oh, absolutely.
right,
Yep.
like she has managed to be a Bananas angel, but also still like continue to be good with people. Like it seems like she's good with people like Jordan and Kylan, and by extension like Tori. And in the conversation that we saw Rachel have with Jordan, they seemed very much like they were on the same page. They said like, hey, we can be each other's number twos. They were both on board with that. And Jordan was like, hey, I'm hedging my bets on you and Tori. And Rachel, you're hedging your bets on me and Bananas. Like, it's just funny to see like the different sides here. But like, as we're getting down to the pointy end, it's like the lines are getting so blurred. Like everybody's just allies with everybody now. It's like just in different ways. There's all these crossovers, and it's just been wild.
Yeah.
But all right, this takes us into tonight's elimination. Iron Triangle. This was Jenny and Aviv. They were locked in a triangular-shaped cage with a circular rope around it. They would have to wrestle each other to try to throw a 10-pound ball over the cage, but keep it within the boundary of the circle. First person to score 2 points wins. Jenny was the only one to score in this. She won 2-0, but it wasn't just 2 rounds. Aviv did put up a fight. And, you know, I feel like while Aviv did lose in this, like, Jenny is such a beast. Aviv did have this foot injury. Aviv also hasn't played since, what, season 12, which she won? We're in season 40. Yeah. She hasn't been here for 28 seasons. She made it this far. She's 40 years old. Just incredible.
And she's like she's smaller and shorter than Jenny. And, listen, we are not going to disrespect Aviv on this podcast. Like we're just not going to do it. Like I think she's fantastic with a capital F. All right. I love Aviv. And I hope that I know she's a mom. She's got a family. She's having time for this all the time. But I hope that this is not the last time we see her. I'm excited she's back. I think she's awesome.
Yeah. I agree.
Truly, it's like I don't care who it was. Like if I see what elimination it is and I look up and I see Jenny standing across from me, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna see myself out of this one.
Just forget it.
Right.
Who do I give my shirt to? Yeah.
Like, yeah. That's so funny. Where do I hand in my helmet?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
The elimination itself was awesome, wasn't it? Like I really want to see this one again. This was really, really fun.
I do too. And I think that the height difference was like the biggest difference between them, because I feel like if this was like a Jenny versus Rachel, this would have been like an absolute like dog fight. Like just it was the size difference. It was just too hard. Like because I noticed that like Aviv recognized that she was failing to get to the ball first every time, which was such a huge disadvantage for her. And I feel like even just she's so tiny that every stride that Jenny takes is like 2 of Aviv's. So it's like,
Yeah,
how are
she
you
didn't
going
have a
to get
shot.
there first?
But also, I think this is a perfect example of like, dear, the challenge. Keep it simple. Like, there wasn't a lot to this elimination, but it was a
Yes,
really freaking good elimination.
it
Like,
was
you don't have to
so
do
good.
all that, you know?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I want to see it again. And I wouldn't mind if it just came back next week. Just do it again and do it with the men. I want to see everyone do it. I want to see it over and over and over again. Like, I like this so much that I wouldn't mind if this was like the new Hall Brawl. Like, not replacing it, but just something that we can expect to see.
Wow. No, it
Each
was a
season.
really good one.
Yeah, I really liked it. And I think that with a more even matchup, it would be even more fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that takes us to the end of the episode pretty much. Jenny wins. Unfortunately, Aviv goes home. Um, the target choices were very easy for Jenny. She couldn't name Kylan because he was the winner of the daily challenge. She's not going to say
Mhm.
banana. So by
Mhm.
default, our 3 targets for next episode are Corey, Derek, and Jordan. And it was at this point that TJ told us we have 10 players remaining, but we still have too many people for a final. That's what he told us. So, but I'm curious to see what's actually going to happen here. I don't know if it's going to be like some kind of little like double elimination or a mini purge or something to go into this because, but this is what's weird to me too. So on the next on TJ, it started off. TJ goes, he says the remaining 10 challengers are quote the luckiest challengers he's ever seen. And the next shot was them toasting like Burger King to the final
Yeah, I
10.
saw that.
Yeah. Bananas we see telling a group of people, but Kylan was like featured, like you never know what you sign up for until you make it to your first final or whatever. We see a car flying over a cliff. We see Michelle telling Cara not to throw in the towel yet. We see a guillotine. So I'm like, why are they the luckiest 10 players? Why is Bananas talking about the final? Like, is TJ going to throw a curveball being like, just kidding, you're in the final? Or is it going to be like one last little get through this double elimination and it's the final or something? You know, like I wonder.
I feel like it's going to be one last little thing. I just hope that the finale then, if that's the case, is the 18th. Like, don't bring this into 25. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done.
I could see it being one more episode, maybe like where like the final even starts at the very end of the episode next time, and then like we get the full final.
Yeah, or even just like a mid-episode elimination, and the second half of the episode is the beginning of the final, and then like just
Yes.
wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Retweet or reskeet.
Yeah.
Risky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all I got. You guys have anything else?
No.
All right.
No.
Well, that's episode 15 of the Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras. So what do we have coming up? This coming Monday, we'll see who's available, but we should be talking, I believe, Survivor 47 at 8 p.m. on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 1 week from today, next Thursday, we'll be talking about the next episode of the Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras. All right.
In the event that I'm not here Monday the 9th, we want to say a very happy birthday to Carson from Survivor 44. His birthday is December 10th. Okay, so happy birthday, Carson.
Yes, happy birthday. All right.
I like your name birthdays.
I like it. I actually do really enjoy that you add that in. I really like that, yeah. All right. Anything else for the benefit of the community before we sign off?
No.
All right. Well, in that case, thank you so much, everybody, for watching, for listening, for hanging out tonight. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Find us everywhere. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Thank you. We'll see you next. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute.
We're so close to peeing.
I know we were so close. Hold on. All right. Hold on. We're gonna end with this. Kyle's down a player.
Oh.
Goodbye.